Everyone, welcome to the Town of Montgomery IDA meeting, September 9th, 2025. We have Jose, Matt, Vincent, myself, Tom. We have Greg and George in attendance from the board. We have our attorneys, Lino and Rudy. Welcome to our first engagement together.
Welcome.
Great to have you here.
Thank you for having us.
And then we'll be having Lauren, our secretary, here shortly, correct?
Shortly, yeah.
Shortly, all right. Absent today noted is Robert and Stacy. So we do have a quorum. We'll get going. First set on the agenda is the approval of the August 12th, 2025 minutes of the meeting. Is there any feedback, changes, questions? If not, can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second. Do a roll call, as we
Aye.
recognize that we have to do this now. So Jose?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Myself? Aye.
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 George? Aye. Motion's passed. Now we'll ask for any public comment on the items of the agenda. I don't know if you gentlemen have any comments? No? All right. So we're good to go. So we'll kick off now with the Executive Director's report.
Okay, this is the Executive Director's report for the month of August into September. Some key matters to note. Just to reiterate what Tom was saying, with welcoming Lino and Rudy as our new counsel for the IDA. Happy to have you guys on board and work together. So just to note, which we will review and vote on today, we have our 2026 draft budget that has been submitted to the town and was posted online for the public to review and comment on. We'll vote on that today to submit to the ABO and maintain compliance. We did receive a FOIL request from one of the law firms that we requested an RFP from. I advised Lino we were happy to accommodate their FOIL request, which was they were asking for copies of all the proposals that we received for the general counsel. Some project updates and business development. I've been in talks with an advanced manufacturing company that is considering Montgomery for an advanced manufacturing facility. The project has very strong potential for significant capital investment and really good paying jobs for our community. So as that progresses and moves forward, I'll be able to speak more on it. Prime Metal Corp, they're here today to present their application. But I've been working with Peter and the realtor and his team on a proposed freight rail site on Bracken Road. The expansion is expected to create, give or take, 20 to 25 new jobs to allow for efficient product movement by rail. In my report, it says their application was nearly complete, but they did submit it in time ahead of today's meeting, so they will be presenting that today. I continue talks with Wyndham Hotel. They have a local developer that they stated is moving forward with a site in Montgomery for a Wyndham branded hotel. In my talks with them, I've emphasized the demand for a hotel here with the growing film industry investment in the town. And the developer expressed to me the need for IDA benefits in order to move forward with the hotel project. Choice Films. So in my role as economic director for the town, I was successful in negotiating a lease of the 112 Bracken Road office space for Choice Films. That'll bring some pretty good revenue for the town. Additionally, with my talks with Choice Films and me educating them on what the IDA does and our economic incentives that we can offer, they expressed the interest in building a second film studio here in the town to continue growing their operation and further establishing Montgomery as, you know, the home of film in Orange County. So all good talks with them, and you know, I continue to say I believe that film studio is one of the best things, if not the best thing that happened to the town. Right now they have two productions going at once. They have, you know, upwards of 200, 250 employees that are high-paying union jobs working out of that facility, and those people are going to be, you know, patronizing all of our local business here and utilizing the town, and it's a phenomenal thing. So there's the old Circus Warehouse in Walden. So I met with the owners of a proposed 80,000 square foot expansion of the former Circus Warehouse. project is still in the planning stages, but they have intent to, house manufacturing operations there, and have inquired with me about potentially applying for IDA benefits. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. 46 Edmonds Lane, it's a site in Walden. I connected with a broker for this fully approved and engineered site, which is approved for 195,000 square feet. It's very feasible for manufacturing. They don't require any off-site improvements, and I've added it to my inventory and marketing materials to, when I have my engagement and communication with site selection consultants to really market the site. Excuse me. Tourist rail attraction. So continue to have discussions and advancing with the company that's looking to establish a tourism passenger rail service here. And they're looking at Walden as a home of interest for their operations. They really like that Walden rail line, and hopes that, and they have future plans to establish a rail service that will connect Walden to Warwick. So, if successful, they plan to have their operations running by Q4 of 2026. And again, they hope to establish Walden as their base of operations. Some of the meetings and events for this past month, I attended a New York State EDC webinar in partnership with New York Bio, which is a association for all things life sciences in New York. They were launching a new website and wanted to have a webinar to discuss with other economic developers and site selection consultants on everything that their new platform will do, which includes listings for facilities, funding opportunities, and job postings. They also have future plans to allow towns and counties to submit available sites of interest to be marketed on the website as well. Orange County Partnership Economic Development Roundtable. So the Orange County Partnership hosted their first of its kind roundtable with all the economic developers in Orange County that brought together myself, the City of Newburgh, City of Middletown, Port Jervis, Orange County economic developers, and Orange County IDA. It was a really good collaboration meeting that we look to establish as a monthly or bi-monthly meeting where we can just, share ideas, best practices, talk about what's going on in our towns and how we can, utilize each other to help out and attract development to the county. I went on a stage tour at Choice Films with the town supervisor, Steve Brescia. They brought us in to show us the new space, which was a very incredible experience. They allowed us to sit in on some of the filming of one of the shows that they're currently working on. And again, once that studio is fully operational, they can have 4 productions going at one time with employment reaching 500 to 600 employees at one given time. I was a guest speaker on the Curiosity Realty podcast, where we discussed how the IDA can partner with commercial realtors to, drive new development and kind of educate the realtors on what the IDA does, how they can leverage the IDA in talks with their clients, and once that podcast is available on Spotify, they'll let me know, and I can gladly share that with the board to take a listen and also market it as well. I attended the Council of Industry annual golf outing. Council of Industry is an association for Hudson Valley manufacturers. It was a great day of golf, networking, and I got to meet and talk with the leadership of the association. I had an introductory Zoom meeting with the president and CEO of 5 Point Strategic Advisors, which is a site selection and incentives consulting firm. We discussed the current trends that they're seeing in site selection, and I presented Montgomery and shared some of our stuff out of our marketing deck, and I believe it was a very productive conversation and relationship building conversation where they'll keep us in mind and kind of bounce stuff off them what they're seeing in the market. And then I had a meeting with Acquisitions Media, our marketing team, to refine our marketing and social media strategy. We ended up altering our scope of services while keeping the same monthly budget with them. So we're going to be ramping up our social media posts and video production to 1 post a week, which previously was 1 post a month. Me and Billy, the owner, are currently working out a day and time to do a film video production where, you know, maybe we do like a testimonial video with an IDA project, or just kind of get out in front. You know, he advised that video is one of the top performing things you can do on social media and marketing, so we're going to look to explore that further. Next, I connected with the Vice President of SUNY Orange Workforce Development, Strategy and Innovation, Dr. Jean Leandre, to make an introduction and discuss how the IDA can collaborate on workforce development initiatives, and also joint market SUNY Orange's programs with site selection consultants and advanced manufacturing companies to show that the town of Montgomery has the available skilled workforce and that we can accommodate new advanced manufacturing investment into the town. Dr. Leandre was very happy that I reached out, and he invited me to meet him in person on campus, and wants to give me a tour of their newly renovated workforce development spaces. And he believes there's a real strong potential that SUNY Orange could work together with us to, you know, attract high-skilled and good-paying industries to the town. That meeting and tour is scheduled for this Friday at, I believe it's 1 o'clock. If any board member would like to attend as well, I highly encourage it. So just please let me know. And then last but not least, I attended the Orange County Partnerships Alliance of Balanced Growth, their summer meeting, which discussed the urban revitalizations of our urban cities in the Orange County. It was great panel discussions where each of the mayors from City of Newburgh, City of Middletown, and Port Jervis discussed the initiatives that are going on in their cities and what they're doing to attract development and kind of just really build up the cities. And a big key focus on that was the investing in affordable housing, which is, you know, I will continue to say it's incredibly important that, you know, the county and towns really work to address available affordable housing in their communities, as it's a key factor when companies are looking for a home to locate to the community. And right now we're seeing it in the county. The towns that are really thriving with development and big impact projects are the ones that are addressing affordable housing in the community. So that'll do it for my monthly report, and keep going. If there's any questions, please let me know.
Any questions, comments, feedback? All right, let's shot it. All right, the next item on the agenda is for you, Matt.
All right.
Updates.
Thank you. Checkbook beginning balance from last report is $5,339.87. Checks drawn were Norton and Torrey, our lawyers, $510. Acquisition marketing for $2,100, and Vinnie's expenses of $688.50, bringing that checkbook account balance to $2,041.37. Sailfish escrow, $3,212. Key Capture Energy, $1,480. City Winery escrow, $580. MMDA Municipal, we had interest of $511.54 added to the $268,146.25, brings the total to $286,657.79. Hudson Valley Country Club balance is $7,187. The public fund bank card of $1,302.67, with a withdrawal for Google of $272.05 and Sweeney's $49.09. That leaves us a total of $981.53. Orange Bank and Trust, $2,041.37. Orange Bank and Trust Sailfish, $3,212. Orange Bank and Trust Capture Energy, $1,480. Orange Bank and Trust City Winery, $580. Orange Bank and Trust Money Market, of $286,657.79. Orange Bank and Trust Valley Country Club of $7,187, and Orange Bank and Trust Fund Bank Card of $981.53, giving you a grand total of $302,139.69.
Good. All right, any questions for Matt? All right, if I can get a motion to accept the financials.
Make the motion.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Excellent. Roll call.
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Myself is an aye.
Aye. Aye.
George? All right, the motion's passed. So the next up on our agenda is a presentation of prime metals application. Welcome, gentlemen. Yeah, please come on up, introduce yourself, and state your name for the records.
Thank you. My name is Peter Schrumpf, and I want to thank you very much, all of you, for having me here today. And I especially want to say thank you to Vincent for all the help that he's given me to get me here today and get me through this application. I'm already a resident with my business for the past 32 years over in Walden on Route 653, Route 52. And we distribute steel pipe products, and we also lease our building to Wind Water Company, which is part of a national group that does a different kind of steel pipe, or iron pipe. So I've been in the steel business since 1980. I've been on my own business since 1984. The current business, Prime Metal Corp., was established in the year 2000, and we were awarded, actually, from the Orange County Chamber of Commerce, I think it was, back in 1981, we were the fastest growing company in international trade in Orange County. So we had an award from the congressman and a few other people, so we say thank you for that. We built our business now where we have currently about 12, 15 employees over in Walden, where we fabricate steel pipe from sizes from 1/8 inch up to 36 inch, but we go even larger from time to time. So we're very diverse in the steel pipe business. That's our business, tubular products. We do some other steel products, but 90% of what we do is steel pipe. We're looking to expand our business, and with the political climate of the tariffs of the Trump administration, it's going to affect me. It's affecting our whole economy, and especially the steel. When you see in the newspaper a 50% tariff on imported steel, and you're an importer of steel, you know you got to change your direction, and you have to reach out to continue to grow. So we do a lot of services for some of the larger companies in the country. We're one of the largest importers of steel pipe, we're one of the largest independent importers of steel pipe to this country. And we have our association with a factory in the United Arab Emirates by the name of Universal Tube, and they've been in business since the 1990s. They're the largest exporter of steel pipe from the United Arab Emirates. We're their exclusive distributor for the entire United States. We have a separate company. We have a few separate companies set up, but primarily what's of interest to the local business here is Prime Metal Corp. USA. We stock steel pipe over in Walden, New York. We keep an inventory of about $2 million worth of steel pipe, and we sell to primarily the wholesale trade. Companies such as Ferguson Enterprises, FW Webb, and the larger companies. We are looking to develop this site here on Bracken Road. 4 years ago I passed by and I called up and I wanted to buy it, and the woman said, "I'm sorry, sir, someone bought it the week before." And I passed by, so I met this gentleman, Jeffrey Lyons, who's been very helpful to me. I appreciate him coming to help me today. And it's available. We bought it because we're reaching out to learn how to bring our steel in by rail. We're intending to do more domestic business with more domestic steel pipe mills and other products as well. So there's definitely a need and growth for the infrastructure of the highways, for the bridges, the tunnels in New York City. We have a distribution area. We ship from Walden up to as far as Boston, and we ship down to Baltimore. So we're a Northeast company, and the location in Walden for us has been wonderful. So moving 3.5 miles to Montgomery is not a big move. In addition to that, we're going to need to keep both locations, and we're going to develop both. We have 58.6 acres currently, and it's I-3 industrial land. We want to keep it I-3 industrial. I also purchased the 10 acres next door that was formerly Thomas Shoestack Aluminum, and they rezoned that, so we have to talk about what I can do with that long term, but I have that 10 acres next door personally. And I own a few other properties in the county as well, and I own a house on, I'm lucky enough to own a house on Orange Lake, and I'm looking to move into that house within the next few months, so I can be closer to my business. And as I go, I'm 67 years of age, and as I go into I'm working 6 or 7 days per week now, and I travel quite often to Texas and to other locations around the United States and overseas. So I'm now hiring new younger people to take over my company, and we're growing. Last year we accomplished, between our entire groups, about $40 to $50 million in total sales. Our distribution for prime metals was, our company's sales were about $7 million. And we don't sell to the end users. We don't even have a sign up in front of our building. Just that we don't want to have a retail. We don't encourage a retail business. We have tractor trailers coming in. We have trucks coming in. We sell to we sell to the wholesalers who sell to Con Edison. We sell to the people who sell to Orange County. We do business with many companies like Rim Plumbing Supply, Windustrial, Dempsey Pipe used to be a very big customer of ours. Now that Dempsey's closed down, we're going to be going after doing a joint venture with Blake Equipment, who has locations in Monticello. And they're a regional company with about 8 different branches in the Northeast. So I do a lot of, we like to be in work with companies because you're only as good as the food you eat. So if they have money to pay you, and our companies we do business with, the Ferguson, $32 billion in sales. Our second largest customer is Mueller Copper, which is a $3.8 billion company. We do their fabrication for them. So we're a fabricator of steel pipe, and what I think long-term I'm hoping for is to expand into the ductile iron business with U.S. ductile pipe out of Birmingham, Alabama, and that's a shippable product by rail. Now I'm a novice. I'm a steel pipe salesman. I'm just trying to learn about the rail systems and the cost of rail. I've used rail in the past. Many years back, we were working with Steel Styles down in Newburgh. He was kind enough to help us offload 700 tons or 35 truckloads of steel. And then we fabricated it and reshipped it down to the city of New York for the Williamsburg Bridge piling project. And we've done work for the, we did the steel pipe for another large steel company, which is now part of Ryerson Steel, when they had the first incident at the World Trade Center back in 1993. We supplied the steel pipe that was used in the temporary water supply after the garage was blown up. So we're dull, we're boring, and we're fairly steady. And I appreciate all the help that Vincent's given me to get me here today. The property that we bought, luckily because of Mr. Lyons introducing me to the opportunity, had a site plan that was approved for 25,000 square feet, and that was what attracted us to the project. We currently occupy about 11,000 square feet at our building, and so 25,000 square feet would be a perfect size for us for the anticipated growth. And we'd use it as both a fabrication and we'd be using it as a distribution center. So we'd anticipate currently, as I mentioned to you, I do about $7 million in sales. If I were to bring in half of my product by rail from different domestic mills, that would mean I'd bring in about 300 tons per month. 300 tons would be about 5 or 6 truckloads. But if I start working for other companies, then we would be bringing in substantially larger amounts of steel. So it could go to as many, whatever the logistics would be for the length of the rail and what we could handle and put onto trucks. So we anticipate to work one shift. If it gets busy, you could work 2 shifts. So we do believe that there's going to be a tremendous infrastructure work in New York City. They've already started construction on the 2 tunnels coming across from New Jersey to New York. The last tunnel that was built that carries you from Secaucus to Penn Station was completed in 1908. So if they don't start the infrastructure and continue infrastructure for New York City, and that's a big part of our business. We ship down to the local, Con Edison and so forth. So we see the need, we see tremendous growth in New York. And I've been up here in Rockland County in Walden since 88 or 91, I forget exactly the date I moved in. And we've been in that building on 653 Route 52. We currently have about, I guess, average between 10 to 16 people working, depending on the labor situation nowadays, and the volume of our business. But we've never had to lay people off. We're always looking for people, and we continue to grow. We're not going to stop. So we'd like your blessing. So.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you for that. Can you speak on the estimated job growth?
Pardon me?
Can you speak on the estimated job growth?
Yes. We have an equity of about $2 million in cash in our business, and we have financing from our mill overseas, which is, if you on the application, you'll forgive me, I made 1 or 2 omissions on this. I have to make some corrections. We also made some errors. I apologize. But we would probably, at this location, I would anticipate first year, we'd have about 12 new jobs, 12 to 16 new jobs, and within 2 to 3 years, 20 to 25 people. In addition to the trucks that would take out, you use common carriers. You know the terminology, I hope. So we'd have, I assume about 20, but I'd say long-term, within the next 3 years, 25 people.
Can you speak on like the estimated salary ranges for those employees?
More than I want to. It's no longer. My shop manager started with me 28 years ago, and he's from Honduras, and he doesn't speak any. He hardly speaks any English. He started with me at the above minimum wage at that point was like $6 or $8 per hour. He's now making $60,000 to $70,000 a year plus benefits. So we have to pay within market. The people at Wind Water, people at Windustrial, people at Rim Plumbing Supply, we pay within the ranges of the industry. So whatever is normal in our industry is what we're willing to pay our workers. On an average, I would say the average skilled or non-skilled workers are averaging around $20 an hour right now. So, and my office staff, you met Deepak, my young man that is taking over some of the operational parts of my business. He's earning 6 figures and just bought a beautiful house in Montgomery. So I have 3 managers now that have their degrees in accounting. So I have 3 accountants working for me directly. 2 of them work out of an office in Fort Lee, New Jersey for logistics, and Deepak works in our office here in Walden, and we have we're putting a new advertisement in Craigslist tomorrow, trying to find a new person, and I asked them to call the local universities, and in fact, maybe you could help me out with that. But we'd like to hire from the local universities. We'd like to. When I graduated NYU Business School when I was in 1980, and I remember internships, and I'd like to get people talk to the marketing department and finance department, computer department especially, at the local universities and high schools as well. So in addition, many years ago, I was associated with the program for hiring veterans, and the federal government gave us a grant of, I think, $10,000, and we paid an employee $40,000 at the time. But so we're looking into any programs that are available. It's my obligation as president of the company. I have a fiduciary responsibility to my shareholders. I listed here that I have two partners. I own 50% of Prime Metal Corp USA, but my other partners are sitting over in Dubai and the United Arab Emirates. We've been together for 25 years. And luckily, both of them were educated here in the USA, so they're Western style. They approve of everything we're doing for the growth.
Yeah, that's great. Just to get back to the employment. So on the application here, it shows in the first year of operations, you expect to employ 4 professional managerial positions, 4 skilled, 4 semi-skilled, and 4 unskilled, for a total of 16 jobs.
Yes.
Can you speak to the salary ranges to each of those? It says, it shows here that your manager and professionals are earning 100,000 plus. Skilled is 60 to 80,000. Semi-skilled is 40 to 60,000, and unskilled is 40,000. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's the numbers you expect?
Yes. I would think that's about what the market is. You know, we would have when we go into this operation, if you're offloading rail cars, you need a skilled worker to work a crane or a forklift, and they have to be certified. We have to do it within OSHA compliance. We have to have a mechanic that takes, in addition, what I haven't put down is the mechanics that come and fix our forklifts. We used to have a full-time mechanic on staff, but it's impossible to find a mechanic nowadays. It's very difficult. So any assistance that I can reach out for, like I said before, Jeffrey was kind enough to guide me to you, Vincent, and it's been many years since I was a member of the Orange County Community Chamber of Commerce years ago, because the HSBC Bank had introduced me to the association. I used to go to the meetings at the airport, but they introduced me to the program with the federal government for the hiring of veterans, and I hired a young boy that came off a submarine that was a welder. And we were splicing pipe together for the Williamsburg Bridge project. That was when I did the project. So we want to do, we're going at, we definitely believe, I think 25 people within the next 2 to 3 years, if not more. I mean, I don't want to overestimate, but.
Now, would this expansion project be able to happen without IDA incentives?
Less likely. We're going to need help in order for us to develop, we want to put our money, we only have a certain amount of money, and we're very prudent people. We pay all of our bills on time, and we're well rated financially. We have good credit rating, but the work that I'm going to be going after, like I said, it might be the piling for some larger projects. So without assistance, I don't think it would go forward.
And
I mean, it would go forward, but maybe not as.
As far as incentives, you're seeking a pilot and sales tax exemptions, correct?
Yes, that's I am.
Timeline. What's the timeline on the project?
You got mortgage tax too, I thought.
They own the property already, right? So
You're not refinancing at all?
I'm going to use I'm speaking to the Ulster County Savings Bank for financing, because we're anticipating that I was given information that the average cost of construction is about $200 per square foot, $250 per square foot. You have a fire sprinkler system, you have the sewage systems you have to connect to, the gases or whatever it might be, whatever's available. I don't think there's gas available on the street. I'll be your neighbor. But, we have to put a water well in, we have to develop a water well, we have to do the drainage properly. It's quite a lot of work I'm beginning to find out. So
And what is the estimated cost of the total project?
it's estimated at about $5 million. The cost of the equipment, I can tell you, that's easy. That I know is between $750 to $1 million. We have plasma cutting machines that cut steel with plasma, and we currently have those in Walden. And at one time, when I first met you a few months ago, I only wanted to bring steel in and ship it to Walden and fabricate in Walden. But then as we started talking to people and as we bought the property, more people found out about that. And I've been attracting more business, and I can see the growth already. If this connection comes through on the ductile iron, that would be super. So one of my concerns I had to talk to the town about is the amount of trucks on the roadway, on Bracken Road. I think there's some type of limitation. I need to speak to them about which direction I have to send the trucks or something. I'm not so sure. And I haven't spoken to the tax assessor yet about what they anticipated. But the estimated cost of the building with the sprinkler system, so forth, you're talking 25,000 square feet. There's an omission on this application I gave you on the first section. We put down building 13,000 square feet, and we neglected to put 12,000 square feet because it's been approved for 13,000 and 12,000. So we'll build the 25,000.
Page 5.
I made an error there. There was an omission. I apologize. It's further down, and there's another portion of it's correctly listed. 13,000 and 12,000.
Yeah, we can get that amendment, no worries.
Thank you. So we're anticipating 25,000 square feet. One building would have more so the fabrication equipment and possible coating equipment. The pipe that you use in piling has coatings on it. But we would be working on that as well. Now, we didn't include our affiliate or our associates because there's no direct relationship with the Torontis. But overseas, we happen to be a green manufacturer. We're certified by the UAE government as a green steel manufacturer. And this is a new thing that's going to happen. We sell to Ferguson Enterprises. It's a $32 billion company. And right now in America, we see a tremendous amount of this artificial intelligence, the data centers. They're building huge data centers. Right down in Orangeburg, I happen to moved to the new condominium in Orangeburg. They're building a 500,000 square foot data center. And all over the country, we're getting inquiries for steel pipe for data centers, and we see that there's a shortage of electricity as well. So power plants are going to start rebuilding. So I think that our industry is going to be strong, and whether I agree with it or not, the Make America Great program, we'll use it to our advantage whichever way we possibly can, and we have good connections with the domestic steel industry and the imported. So we're very fortunate that we have that.
So just to kind of wrap up a little bit, just can you clarify, just for the record, what exactly you're asking from the IDA today?
Well, from the conversations that we had and what Jeffrey had suggested to me is that the benefits would be the tax benefits for the next for the real estate taxes. We've been in the building we're in right now. We have a 35,000 square foot building, and we're paying somewhere about $30-something thousand here in taxes, which is reasonable. And I think that's why Orange County is growing. Reasonable taxes and good services. And on the property next door, I'm paying $10,000 in taxes. So I don't know what the taxes are. I think, what is the current tax right now? 4,000, Jeffrey? What was my current taxes on the property? 4,000, I think. When I bought the property, I only bought the property back 30 days ago, and I think it's 4,000 just for the land. So I guess raw land is a little lesser than a finished building.
So just to be good, so you're looking for a pilot, sales tax, and potentially mortgage
Yeah,
tax,
so-
or you're refinancing?
Yeah, just so
Thanks.
we're clear, so the applicant did submit this application, obviously, this afternoon, so we as council, we're gonna have to go through it. I mean, for today's, today's, to-do list is really, there's no vote today. We're gonna hopefully prepare, once we speak with the applicant, its council, get some of these things, I guess, just looked at, because again, we had some questions, there's some blanks that are left in the application, so we have to go through that. But we should be prepared, again, provided your board is okay with it, to at least induce it at the October 14th meeting. But again, we have some questions about the application, because it looks like you're asking for all three: sales tax, mortgage tax, and a pilot. But again, we just have to make sure what it is to be exact, okay? So,
Okay, thank you, I appreciate it, Lino, thank you.
because there are some places in here where things like you're getting all three, other places, it sounds like you're just getting the sales tax and the pilot, so.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
No, it's okay,
Thanks.
we'll work through that. I'm just letting for the board, for today's exercise, is really just to hear the application, and then hopefully for next month, we'll have an inducement resolution prepared once we get the numbers straightened out.
Does the board have any questions about the project that you would like to ask?
Yes, one of the questions that I
Yes, sir.
have is, how long you been in business now?
Prime Metal Corp. USA was founded in the year 2000. I have another company that, by the name of Alliance Pipe and Steel. It was founded in 1984. So my first business was 1984. That's still in existence. I operate Alliance Pipe and Steel, but we don't. It's a relatively dormant company. I just do a little bit of trading back and forth. I don't want to conflict with the partners that finance us. We're financed by Universal 2 out of Dubai. So in order to, we're their distributor for the USA. So we've been in business in the year 2000. So 25 years.
25 years. Thanks, appreciate that.
Yeah.
The other thing that I wanted to make a comment is that it's admirable that you do employ local folks. Not only that, but you
Yes.
reach out to the universities and the local high schools and
Yeah.
to add to that, to include the veterans. I mean,
Yes.
that's pretty important, so.
Thank you.
Just want to commend you on that.
We're happy too, because actually, I neglected to thank Lino before, because the young woman who works for me had reached out to Lino and Vincent to help fill out this application. And we thank you both, and we're trying to hire local people, of course. And young people are the way of the future. I mean, I have a 26-year-old that's helping with computers, and the AI. I recently came back from a conference in San Antonio, and it's a pipe conference. And for 3 days they talk about AI, and then for 1 day they talk about cyber threats. So it's the youth is taking over, and things are changing.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
Thanks.
thank you. Any other questions from the board?
No other questions.
No other questions?
my apology if I talk too much out of line here.
No.
It's great.
It's great to have the context.
Great conversation.
We really appreciate the fact that you could come in today, even though the application is still warm off the oven, right?
Yes, sir,
Um,
yeah.
But yeah, right?
I'm sorry I don't have any business cards either. I forgot those
That's
back
quite all
there.
right. But thank you for the foresight. We'll work diligently over the next month to make sure that we're in a position to take an informed decision.
Yep.
And
Yeah, so
vote is
we'll-
necessary.
We'll work with your council.
Lino, that'd be
here,
great.
and
Thank
then
you.
we'll, because again, we have some questions that we just need answered, then, we'll be in touch, because hopefully we'll get Sean for the October meeting to get an
Okay.
inducement.
I wish I had a business card to give with you, but I'll take
You
yours.
want to
We got
I'll
you.
share- I'll
We
share.
have everything.
Okay, thank you.
And I would just say, I think, it's great to be in a position to potentially, or to be considering a potential support for a company within the community that's growing. So thank you
Yeah,
for,
I think, but in answer, now I'm thinking about it, if I don't want to overpromise anything. I was always told by my father, underpromise and overdeliver. And that's what we want to do.
Yeah, well, I think Lino, when he has a chance to talk with you and your attorney, you can hash out some of the stuff on the application to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And then we'll kind of go forward from there at the next meeting.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I
Thank you very much.
appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time, and I hope I was direct.
No,
Thank
no,
you.
it's
no.
great to
Thank you.
support you. Thank you.
Thanks.
don't, just make one comment.
Sure.
The site is great, okay? The location's great, but the site is not great. There is gonna be a heavy expense for this guy to break, I think there's like 3 or 4 feet of solid shell that's gotta come out and be moved. So that, and putting in 700 feet of rail, there's gonna be some expense in there. And, it's not just the buildings, Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So now if we can, let's move on to the next agenda item. This is something we brought up last month in regards to potential terms and cycles, and the changes that would potentially have to happen in our bylaws to make that happen. I think the general consensus amongst the board was, it was a healthy conversation to have, that, the majority of the board felt that there were terms, not term limits, but terms could be applicable to good governance, good hygiene. We worked through some comments in between and feedback from board members. And so I think we're in a position today where we just want to make sure that there is a solid consensus across this board to put terms in place that make sense for the town of Montgomery IDA. And if that is the case, then we'll go through the proper process because it would require changes in the bylaws,
correct.
and then notification of 7 days, did you say,
Yep.
publicly? So we would take an official vote next month, in the October 14th meeting. So I believe, and Matt and Vincent, Lino, Rudy, jump in here. I think one of the propositions we would put out there is that we do follow the terms, utilizing 3-year terms, which is in sequence, or which correlates to what the town is already doing for other boards that are in place, as well as the Orange County IDA. So it just matches up. If we do use the rollout policy that we talked about, not policy, approach, to convert this into it, as we talked about, myself, Matt, and Bob, who is not going to come up for renewal, does not want to renew, would be considered at the end of the year, beginning of the year. The following year would be George and Stacy, and then the year after that would be Jose and Greg. And that really falls in line with the 3 years as it is. That would go back to the town board for reappointments. That's how it would work. You would be asked if you're interested. If you are, the town board would reconsider and then re-up appointments for us and so forth. So that's the basic process. Lino, look like.
Yeah, no, it just, right now, the appointment term, there's no term, right? It's indefinite, just definite, indefinite. So what you're proposing really is a change to the bylaws, so we would, and what I would recommend too is staggering your terms so you don't all expire all at once, right?
Yep.
So, there's something to be had for institutional knowledge, so members, whether they stay or go, but there is some, benefit to having some continuity, at least some of the members, as the years go on. So that's why we would draft something for consideration at the next meeting, just like a staggered, you could obviously in your bylaws change it, make terms, but stagger those terms. That way, you're not all up at once.
Yeah, we were going
So
3,
too.
what I was saying there was 3-2-2.
Yep.
That way we keep it. And the other thing that we talked about changing in there too is right now, the town board has the opportunity to remove, your life appointment. We just want to amend that to make sure that it's with cause.
Yep.
Right, so as we move forward, it's with cause in between those 3 years of terms. Any feedback on that? Any questions?
Now, we did speak, what did the town recommended 5 years?
Originally, the town recommended 5, but then the discussion came up about 3 because they checked to see what the planning board and zoning board was, and I believe they're doing 3 years. So to keep it, that continuity amongst all the boards, I think we landed on 3, but I think it's ultimately up to our board what we decide. I think we came to an agreement yesterday, or at least Tom and you. I think we discussed 3-year terms, but again, if the board, if you guys want to discuss or take a tally on 5 or 3, I think that's fine, and however you guys want to proceed. You want to go down the line and just
Share your feelings,
share your
whatever,
feelings?
Absolutely. I think that the 3-year term is just sufficient to keep everybody sharp and on board. then can be selected from there. And obviously, it's gonna go back up for a vote again, so if you're interested, you stayed. If not, so it would be productive. It's the way I perceive it. So I think it's a great idea. 3 years, absolutely. It's the way I see it.
And right now, reaching out to council, right now, we are we work at the leisure of the board as it is anyway.
Correct.
So, this does what for the board?
In terms of the limits,
Yeah, what does this extra do for the board?
again, it's more of a policy decision, right? It's, right now you have indefinite terms, so if you want to keep it that way, but if you think you'd like to have some change in your board, I mean, you may want to have other board members come in after 3 years.
So
It gives you that option.
I will say, just to chime in, I think, to reiterate on the 3 years or, even 5 years, I think having term cycles in place kind of keeps our board accountable.
Yep.
Right? So if we feel that a board member is not participating enough or, not necessarily bringing something to the table to help the IDA move forward, having that term come up for reappointment allows us to make a change or have the town make a change.
Yeah, but it's not us.
That's not to say, I think our board, and I want to reiterate this, I think we have a great board, a very engaged board. So I don't think anyone's looking to get rid of anybody. I think it's just like Tom has reiterated in the past, it's good governance. It helps modernize our bylaws, and it keeps us, like I said, it will help keep us accountable.
But if the IDA, this board feels that somebody's not pulling their weight, we still cannot have that removed. It's not up to this board, it's up to the board that has the
appointing
oversight
power,
over
right.
us.
The town board has the appointing
The town
power,
board,
right.
which already has the power to do that tomorrow to everybody on this board, even if we pass this, don't pass it, 3 years, 5 years, irrelevant.
That's a different question. So that's going to be, like I explained, if you put something in your bylaws, right, about that, that could be a future battle with the town if they disagree with what you're doing there. But again,
Right.
you're your own separate agency, right? You're a quasi-governmental agency. You have your bylaws. You have the ability to do things, and only you can change your bylaws. So to the extent that something in your bylaw conflicts with the town board can't mess up with your bylaws. That's a function of you all. Only you can vote to change that.
On the
So-
bylaws.
So if we
On the
change
bylaws.
that to say that there has to be a cause, the town board can say, we don't need a cause, we can get rid of it anyway.
Well, that's going to
correct?
be an interesting, I'd say, argument on that point. I think I'm not going to get into it
I'm just
now, but
trying
it's
to-
something we could discuss, with your
Trying to
council
understand it, yeah.
offline. Probably be a better idea to do that. But
But
there is.
I would
yeah.
add that clause that was in balance with a 3-year period,
Okay.
right?
I will tell you that, because Rudy and I, we do this for not just IDAs, but I also serve as town and village attorney throughout the Hudson Valley and other places. So when you look at state law, I'm just speaking generally here, right? So normally, when it comes to appointed positions, even an elected position, but I'm talking about appointed positions, most communities, you can't just tell someone they have to, you just can't kick them off, right? It's got to be for cause. For example, if they don't show up at meetings, and it's, you've had a year now where a board member misses 3/4 of the meetings, well, that could be cause. But in all the situations, you have to have a public hearing to remove that appointed official. So it's like I said this the other day, it's like a public flogging, if you will, right? So it really is. So that's state law. State law says to remove appointed officials, you've got to go through this process. So my point being is, you may want to structure your bylaws to what state law has to say about that. So, because right now, the town board can just say, you know what, I don't like any of you, they could just wholesale get rid of you all tomorrow. But if you want to put something in there as, I'll call like a fail-safe or checks and balances, if you will, you amend your bylaws, and then how that works out with the town board, because again, only you can amend your bylaws, and those stand for something, so.
Yeah.
That's more of a conversation we can have in executive session or with council on how that plays out, but just something that you should be aware of. But again, most of it is for cause, so you have to go through a public hearing. You just can't just willingly get rid of an appointed official normally.
But if there is a term limit, the town can just say the appointment has expired.
Right.
And then they wouldn't need cause to appoint somebody else to the next term.
Renew.
Right, that's cause, actually. Your term expiring is cause to not reappoint.
But this isn't term limits,
That's the cycle, term cycle.
It's from
see, which is
cycles, right.
different. Your term
limits-
Yeah, no,
limits,
understood.
We're not looking to implement term limits, it's just term cycles
Right.
that
Keep that
be a
in mind,
rolling
yeah.
Yeah, right, you
reoccurring.
can just be reappointed if they want to reappoint you, but it's that for that set term.
Yep.
Is there anyone on the board that's against 3-year appointments?
3 years makes sense to me.
Absolutely.
So what's the next step?
So you guys direct our firm, we'll draft something, amendment to the bylaws, and we'll present that for you. Again, so just, you could direct us, Mr. Chairman, just to have that drafted and presented to you before, in time for the next meeting that we can discuss it.
And it'll be able to be implemented at the next meeting?
So if you want to implement it, we got to get it to you with 7 days?
It's a 7-day, right? It has to be
Yeah.
available publicly online?
Correct.
It says it just, notice has to be provided to the board members.
Okay.
Yeah, so the way, these kind of things work, you can't vote on anything until you have it in front of you to look at, so,
Right.
we can get it to you as soon as possible. Like I said, we'll probably get to you next week, that way, well in advance of the October 12th meeting, right? October 14th, rather.
Yep.
And then if you think you're ready for it, we could distribute it to you, Vinny, and then you can distribute it to the
Yeah.
board. But if it's something that you want to do for that meeting, just let me know, and then we'll do whatever we have to do for noticing it so that we can approve it at the 14th.
Yeah, I think the idea, at least we talked about the town, is that we would have an agreement in place this month and have it implemented,
Yep, that could be done.
by next month, so whatever we have to do for that.
Yep.
That's the road.
That's fine.
And I just want to take this back for a minute. Like, I want to reiterate from my perspective why I'm in favor of it. I do think it's healthy governance. I do think, even the opportunity, though we don't appoint our own members, we do have an opportunity to provide feedback on our members. And I think those cycles, whether 3 or 5, allow us to do that. So we can say to the board, hey, this would be our recommendation or not, regardless of what the individual's position is. I also look at it from, it's easy to get stuck in a rut and stay just because you're there. And having something that's indefinite and not forcing an accountable reflection of oneself to say, I still want to do this. This just allows that to take place, right? And it allows, when I think about it, it allows, for me, at some point, a graceful exit, right? It's not, I have to come and have a conversation and say, I just don't want to do this anymore, can't do this anymore. Thinking about even the journey of our past chair, when he got to that point, didn't have that point in time where he could say, this made sense. So that's my personal perspective on it. I think it's healthy for us. And again, you're going through a process that allows you to say, I want to stay. It allows someone to say, we want you to stay. We move forward and we're working together.
And by the way, what you just said, Mr. Chairman, is pretty much the same situation for pretty much all IDAs. Whether it's a county IDA, a local IDA, obviously your input matters to the folks who are appointing you. So it's conversations that we see they're had all the time when there's a member to be appointed or not appointed. So it's, again, it happens every day.
Yeah. All right, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. So that'll be forthcoming to everybody, and obviously, everyone has a right to vote and make a decision. So the next thing on the agenda is our 2026 draft budget vote for consideration. Just a reminder, this went out for review, town board, right?
Yeah, it was submitted to the town board after, submitted to Karen Miller, the town clerk, after our meeting last month. I have a stamped copy that shows that it was submitted. So it's been publicly available online since our last meeting, which is 20 business days, which is the requirement for submitting it to the ABO. So if we approve it today, everything would be all set to submit.
And it has to be filed today, correct? Was that to meet the deadline for the year?
No, I think it has to be filed by October 1st.
October 1st,
But to
okay.
meet that October 1st, obviously, we're not meeting until the next
14th,
meeting is October
right.
14th, so to meet that deadline, it would have to be voted on today.
Excellent. And there have been no changes to this since
No
the
changes.
reviews, no comments from anyone?
No.
So it's still as is. So any last comments from the board on this budget? If not, can I get a motion to approve, adopt? George, second.
Aye.
Jose, go down, roll call.
Aye.
Jose, Matt.
Aye.
Tom's an aye.
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 Excellent. Motion is approved. The next thing on the agenda for us is just something for discussion and something that we can consider for the next meeting. It is a truly first draft of a code of conduct policy for appointed officials of the IDA, and it should say employees in there. It's noted through employees. When we were going through all of our policies and everything, we recognized that we actually didn't have a code of conduct. We had a code of ethics, which gets to anti-bribery and so forth. So this code of conduct is just guidelines for us, commitments that we would be making, that really understands that we're in a position of privilege as an appointed official or as an employee of this agency, and it requires us to make sure that we're operating and acting at a certain standard of behavior and representation, both in our professional and personal capacities, because everything that we're doing is about being connected to others. And I think it's pretty straightforward. It's here for you to take with you. If anyone has any initial feedback on it, because you had an opportunity to take a glance on it, love to hear it. But if there's anything that you would want to see different, change, if you're against something like this, if you want to strengthen, make sure you reach out to Vinny and share those perspectives well before the next meeting, just so we can shop it around.
Okay.
Anyone have any experience in this or feedback?
The 10 bullet points, where were they pulled from?
I used, in all honesty, AI. So I used my AI agent to go out there and survey.
Okay.
No, I fully transparent. Used my agent. I utilized Copilot, and my agent and Copilot to go out and survey the average code of conduct policies out there that are available, and distill it down to this so it would be applicable to us.
So just a word on this,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman. So, your town of Montgomery has a technics code, right? So I'm sure you're all subject to it. Do you fill disclosure statements every year?
We did the ethics, but we don't have code of conduct.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say, what I would add to this, because again, your ethics code, section 25, is also part of this. So I would refer your ethics code as part of this, just to include it, saying, in addition to your ethics code of chapter 25.
Perfect.
In addition, it's just because it's not in lieu of, it's all, you want to look at it together, that's all.
Excellent point. You got that?
Yeah, you'll have to retell me that in advance of the meeting. Whatever we have to do to move forward, we'll figure it out.
It's pretty clear.
AI did a nice job, we just want to include section 25, because again, you're subject to the ethics code, this
Yeah.
is, over and above that. So-
Yeah.
And this would have to coincide with our ethic, our UTEP and everything else, right? We gotta make sure that there's no contradiction.
Yeah, I mean, this shouldn't really run
Yeah, I
afoul
think
of
this is more
UTEP.
just like,
I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah, this wouldn't run afoul of your UTEP, this is just more for your, your code of conduct is exactly what it is. It has nothing to do really with the UTEP. So, this is internal for you all to review until you want to adopt it.
Yeah. The question's come up a couple of times in the past year for me, and
What's that?
whether we have code of conduct and this and that,
Oh,
and going through it, embarrassingly, had to say no, right? Because it's typically something a company, an agency would have, and so I think this is just an attempt to try and fill that gap.
and then, again, this is just another thing that helps keep our board accountable, respectable, and make sure, we're serving our community with grace, so.
Yeah.
So if I may add, I mean, this is a great idea, but I think that, suggestion, there should be a signature block at the bottom, and we should sign this every year. Because when we get to revise it or look at every year, it just reminds you, this is what it needs to adhere to. So it should be a signature block at the bottom, sign it every year, so folks can refresh
Yeah.
that this is the uphold of what we do.
Is that what we do with the ethics one, or the conflicts?
I think this is usually once a year, but something like this though, I mean, again, just my 2 cents, because I've seen these, so you should probably sign it only one time through your term. So let's say you're a 3-year term, you sign it once, and then once you get reappointed, if you get reappointed again, then sign it again, right?
Yeah,
That's what I would recommend.
That makes sense.
Well, you could do annual reminders.
Yeah, unless,
At the annual
to
meeting.
my co-counsel's good point, unless it gets amended, then you re-sign it again. That's,
And I like that annual reminder.
Yeah.
Just to refresh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
Any other feedback on it? All right, any other business in front of the board today? No? If I can then I'm going to note the next meeting is October 14th, 2025, at 1 PM. If I can take a motion for adjournment? Greg? Second. George? Jose?
Aye.
Matt?
aye.
Tom, aye. Greg?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you.